Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my mini-series Care to Share, where I share about my experiences as being an African American woman in America. Today in this episode, we're talking about, you guessed it, school. So, I don't know about you, but I was a Disney kid, loved High School Musical, the film of the century. Best movie ever. And when I was going to high school, I thought it was going to be exactly like High School Musical. Like, there was a basketball table and then we're singing Stick to the Status Quo and there's dancing. Yeah, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. You know, I thought it was going to throw down in school, but it's not. Anyways, I had a lot of friends in school and that was fun and everything, but sometimes you just miss something. And I think I was missing people that looked like me. Like in my series talking about, being black and going to school, it's hard because I can count 3 African American black teachers that I had. I had 3 teachers in all of my years of school. And typically when I'd walk into class, I would be one of maybe 2 or 3 people, African American people. Like I was always a minority in class, and it was just always kind of uncomfortable. It's like you really just can't relate to people who don't look like you, who aren't raised like you exactly the same way. You know what I'm saying? You just don't relate that well. And school was rough being African American. Like they expect more of you. You have to work harder to get to the same places. And I went through some difficult times and stuff like that. Like I remember one time in class a long time ago, we were learning about slavery, hard topic to discuss, and I had a white teacher and I was the only black student in class, and she would go, let's for example say that me, the teacher, I'm the slaveholder, and let's pretend that Hannah is the slave. I'm like, why do I have to be the slave? Like, why can't we just use an example? This person is, why do we have to put a student into it? But hard to say, like I went through the experiences as a kid growing up in class, and I could see myself in my classmates sometimes. I couldn't relate to every single thing that I was growing up. And it's rough, it's tough being African American in school, going to public school. It's also rough being female and African American. But I got through it. I had to work sometimes a lot harder than others. Got through it, graduated with all honors. But if you're African American out there going to school, just know, it takes a little bit more, but you can do it. It's important to get your education. It's important to do well because we're advancing. We're getting smarter and stronger and stuff like that in education. And just if you're not African American, reach out. Your fellow students in class should always feel welcome. It's hard for us to fit in places that we feel like we're a minority. But in school is one of those places where sometimes African Americans are the minority. But you can do this. You got this. This is actually the last episode of my mini-series Care to Share. I encourage you that if you learned something today, share it because someone else could possibly learn something too. If you knew or you experienced something like this, I encourage you to also share it because someone that you know could learn something from this, So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the description, even in the comments section. And if you guys have any different topics you'd like me to discuss or continue my mini-series, leave some suggestions.